Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to filter complex sources down to their essential insights. And today, we're really diving into identity, questioning the very foundation, of what you believe yourself to be.
We absolutely are. And it's a pretty challenging mission, actually, because the sources we're looking at today suggest something quite radical. They suggest that the self, the one you've spent your whole life building, refining, maybe perfecting for public view, isn't just flawed.
Not real.
It's entirely manufactured. An idol, that's the potent term the sources use.
An idol. Wow. So that's the core idea then, and it forces a complete reevaluation, doesn't it? The sources seem to claim that the entire learning process in this world, everything from social cues, achieving what we call maturity.
Right.
It's all just about adjusting this concept of self to fit the world's reality.
And we need to remember how these sources describe that reality. A world of shadows and illusions.
Okay, maybe let's clarify some terms for our listener first.
Good idea. So when this material talks about your true identity as the Son of God, it's referring to something non-physical, a perfect, universal reality of mind, not religious in the conventional sense, but about shared being.
And your brother.
That simply means every other mind you encounter, everyone else.
Got it. So back to this concept of self. The sources say it's entirely made by us, not given.
Exactly. Made by the individual, not inherent. And crucially, it bears no likeness to yourself at all. You've essentially built a stand-in.
Okay, if we built it,
Yeah.
then what was the point? What's the instruction manual, so to speak? What was the intended purpose of this huge life project?
Well, the world's learning, according to these sources, it had a very specific agenda, almost mechanical. It was designed to ensure you come without a self and make one as you go along.
Make one as you go.
Yeah. And the goal is that by the time you reach maturity, this concept is perfected, polished, ready to meet the world on its own terms, fitting right into its demands.
So it's a concept of self built specifically for survival in this world of shadows.
That's the idea.
Which means this self-concept is basically an imposter, created, as the source says, to take the place of your reality. It sounds like a kind of internal Trojan horse.
Yeah.
Designed to integrate you into the system, the world system of separation.
That's precisely its function. But here's where it gets, really interesting. The plot thickens, as they say, because this idol, this concept self, it isn't just a simple mask. It's built to serve two quite distinct purposes.
Two purposes.
Yes. But here's the catch. Only one of those purposes is easily recognizable. It's consciously available to your mind.
Ah, okay. So there's a hidden agenda.
Exactly. This duality is the key. It's the central mechanism of the whole deception, really.
Yeah.
Because the face we show the world, the one we know we're showing, it's actively hiding a much darker, more condemning function underneath.
All right, let's try and pull back the curtain on this duality then, starting with the face we all recognize, the one the source calls the face that is acted on, the face of innocence. What does that look like?
Well, it's the agreeable persona, isn't it? The nice guy, the good person. It smiles, it charms, it looks for companions, offers comfort. Fundamentally, it sees itself as good within an evil world. And because of that, it feels it deserves protection, appreciation, maybe even pity sometimes.
Right. It's the part of the self that justifies its whole existence based on its perceived goodness and maybe its fragility.
Precisely.
And the catch with this seemingly sweet, innocent face is that it never sees itself as the aggressor, right? It never starts the fight.
Never.
But it feels constantly provoked. The source mentions 100 little things, tiny assaults on its innocence, every single day.
Yeah.
Like that annoying comment someone leaves online or maybe a small disrespect from a colleague. That moment, your car gets cut off in traffic.
Yes. Those small assaults are absolutely critical to how this works. They trigger a response, and that response can quickly escalate from just irritation to open insult and abuse, as the source puts it. And the innocent face, it justifies every single counterattack.
Yeah.
Every bit of road rage, every angry text, every sharp reply. How? By claiming the world is just so harsh towards poor, defenseless innocence?
So it uses the idea of being a victim to rationalize its own aggression.
Exactly. It's the ultimate defense mechanism for that self-concept.
Okay, so that's the face we recognize, the one we present. But if that's just the surface, what's underneath? What is this hidden lesson that the world has set its sights on, as the source says?
This is where we get to that displacement we talked about, the terrible secret hidden beneath all that justified fear and, frankly, treachery. The hidden lesson, spoken by the self-concept back to the individual who made it, is basically this. I am the thing you made of me, and as you look on me, you stand condemned because of what I am.
Wow. You stand condemned because of what I am? So condemnation is the engine. That's what keeps this shadow world running.
That's exactly it. This hidden lesson ensures that the pathways of separation, conflict, judgment, what the Source calls the pathways of the world, are kept safely in place, locked down. And the most insidious part, the really tricky bit, is how it secures this condemnation. It ensures your brother is condemned eternally.
How? How does it do that?
Because what you are, meaning this faulty idol self you constructed, has now become his sin.
Ah, okay. So you take the guilt that's inherent in making this flawed, two-faced self,
Yeah.
and you project it entirely onto your neighbor, onto your brother. You built the idol, but you point the finger at him for its existence and its flaws.
That's the mechanism, plain and simple. The source material is very, very clear on this. While the condemning finger points relentlessly outwards at the brother, it's also pointing right back at you. But that part is kept hidden, still deeper in the mist below the face of innocence.
So that deeper layer, that's
Yeah.
where all the sins are kept. Both the ones you see in him and the ones you're hiding in yourself.
Exactly. They're preserved there. Not as correctable mistakes, but as established, hated things. Things that must remain in darkness, unforgiven.
This really gets to the nature of concepts themselves, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We've established this self is a concept. What does that actually mean about its reality or lack thereof?
It means they're entirely artificial constructs,
Right?
artifacts of learning. Concepts are learned, they're not natural. Apart from the learning process itself, they simply don't exist. They weren't given to us, so they had to be made by us.
And the source is pretty blunt about their validity.
It pulls no punches at all. It says not one of them is true.
Not one. They're just ideas of idols, built using the language, the limitations, the shadows of this world. They uphold the world structure, they maintain the illusion of separation, but they can't prove the world is real because they were born in its shadow, as the source puts it.
Right. And this specific concept, the concept of the self, it's incredibly powerful because it holds everything else together. It's like the keystone. The concept of the self embraces all you look upon. It functions as a total perceptual mirror. Meaning, if you look out and see a guilty world, a dangerous world, a disappointing world, that's a direct sign that your learning has been guided by the world itself. You are literally beholding the world as you see yourself.
We usually think of guilt in terms of actions, right? Hurting others. But here the sources seem to offer this startling shift in perspective. They say if you can be hurt by anything, any slight, any attack, any perceived injustice, you're actually looking at a picture of your own secret wishes.
That is the realization that often stops people in their tracks. It's profound. It means that in the very moment you feel you're suffering most, when you feel most like a victim, most justified in your anger or pain,
Yeah.
you're actually seeing a reflection of your own concealed desire to kill. The pain you feel is the recognition of your own dark intent, but projected outward onto someone or something else.
That is incredibly difficult to accept. It completely pulls the rug out from under the whole structure of self-justification based on being a victim.
It absolutely does. And this conceptual self, it's so rigidly fixed by this underlying guilt and fear that you can't just, unlearn it through shock therapy or decide to replace it with a holy self overnight.
Why not?
Because that would likely cause immense panic. The whole structure would feel threatened. So the role of the Holy Spirit, as described in these sources, isn't demolition. It's more like initiating a gentle process of undoing. Lessons aimed not at shattering the mind, but slowly, patiently teaching you that you are, in fact, something else.
And that requires retranslating the evidence, the very things that seem to prove the idol is real.
Precisely, reinterpreting everything.
And the sources seem to start that retranslation process by raising doubt,
Yeah.
right? Specifically questioning the core assumption of victimhood, the idea that you are what your brother made of you.
Yes, it's a brilliant challenge to the self-pity baked into the concept. How could your brother possibly be the sole architect of your entire being? Does he react for you? Does he know your future? Does he ordain everything you should do? I mean, logically, to have that kind of power, that prescience, he would have had to make the world as well as you.
It just falls apart logically when you examine it.
It completely dismantles the simplistic victim narrative.
And then there's the internal contradiction, the logical paradox within the concept itself. If the brother supposedly generated one part of the concept, the condemned, victimized self, who was there to make the other part? The face of innocence? Who is the you that engineered this whole system in the first place? And who is supposedly being deceived by all your own goodness and attacking it?
Right. The idea of a single external cause just becomes completely untenable when you look closely.
So recognizing this paradox, That's the first step towards active choice.
It's the first small gain, yes. The sources suggest, for instance, that maybe you're the thing you chose to have your brother be. It's subtle shift. It acknowledges that interaction happened and that choice entered in, and it reflects that core idea. What you see reflects the state of the perceiver's mind.
So it moves from he made me this way to I chose to see him this way based on myself.
Exactly. It's a crucial shift towards recognizing responsibility. But importantly, within the framework of the conceptual self, this shift still comes at a cost.
What cost?
Well, now you have to stand accused of guilt because you chose condemnation for him, projecting the image of your own guilt onto him. Now you share his guilt. So you've swapped passive condemnation for active shared condemnation. But notice, neither view actually answers the fundamental mystery, the question the source raises. Something must have gone before these concepts of the self. What was there before we started making these idols?
It feels like the whole history of the world, in a way. It's just humanity trying constantly to find the answer to that one question. The riddle of the conceptual self.
And the definition of salvation offered in these sources, it kind of bypasses the riddle entirely. It cuts right through it. Salvation, it says, is nothing more than the escape from concepts. Full stop.
Not building a better concept.
No. It's not concerned with the content of the mind, not which specific sins you think you committed, or how good your innocent face was perceived to be. It's concerned only with the fact that the mind thinks. And because it thinks, it has choice. It can choose different thoughts, thoughts that lead to different consequences. Peace instead of conflict.
So the goal isn't building a better idol or even a more spiritual concept of the self. It's letting go of concepts altogether. The world can't teach you any images of yourself unless you want to learn them. Is that the idea?
That's the path. And the final step of this learning process, the destination, is when all the images of self just fall away. And you arrive at this place of genuine humility where you simply realize, I know not what I am.
That state of not knowing is the goal.
It's the destination. Because it's to this unsealed and open mind, as the source calls it, that truth can finally return, unhindered by our preconceived notions. When every single concept, every assumption about who you are, what the world is, what others are, when all of it has been raised to doubt, question, and recognized as being made up based on faulty assumptions that just can't stand the light,
And the mind is free.
then the mind is finally free, unsealed, and open.
And the sources give us that single statement.
Yeah.
The conceptual self and the world built on it is most terrified to hear.
Yeah.
But it's exactly where salvation is born.
Yes. The admission, I do not know the thing I am, and therefore do not know what I'm doing, where I am, or how to look upon the world or on myself.
In that complete letting go.
In that radical admission of total conceptual ignorance, the manufactured self just dissolves. The mind steps aside, effectively, and what you truly are, well, it will finally tell you of itself.
What a profound arc. We've gone from seeing the self as an idol built for a shadow world, fueled by hidden condemnation, all the way to understanding that escaping all concepts is the only way to real peace and freedom. The concepts we build literally create the world we see, especially the guilt. Removing them frees the mind.
It's a complete paradigm shift. And perhaps we can leave you, our listener, with this final thought to consider. If your current concept of yourself is merely an idol, painstakingly crafted for a world of illusions, what profound, real experience, maybe pure, unconditional connection, or perhaps unburdened, simple, present moment joy, is that idol currently standing guard against, preventing you from perceiving it right now?